the show of hands, who has had a bad au experience? Me. I'll go first. So, hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about my pair experience in Belgium and here in Vienna. So, my au pair experience in Belgium was perfect, really. I cannot complain. It was the best year I had. It was my first time in Europe, my first time outside of Kenya, my first time on a plane, and my first time living with foreign people in a foreign country, without family, without friends. So I really cannot complain about here's my beloved book, my notebook. I really cannot complain about my au pair time in Belgium. It was just perfect. The children are great, the host parents were great. I'm telling you, everything was just perfect. So now we talk about my worst au pair experience. That was in Austria, Vienna. So before I came to Austria, I think I've briefly talked about it, but before I came to Vienna, I was an FSJler in Deutschland. So I came to Vienna. The first day I came, okay, rewind a little bit. Before, we used to communicate. We used to write emails, send each other messages, blah, blah, blah. Through these messages and emails, everything seemed perfect. I was like, oh, that's great. Yeah, by this time, the family had written to me and they said they're still on holiday. So they're still on holiday for 2 weeks. And after these 2 weeks, then they're going to send me the contract and the health insurance, and then I can come. So, and if you don't, for those who know, you know how important that is. And for those who don't know, when you're applying for an au pair, or rather when you get a family and you communicate, and when you get a deal with the family, it's the most important thing that you need to go to the embassy with. It's the au pair contract, filled and signed by the host family and by yourself, and then health insurance that is to be provided by the host family. These two are to be provided by the host family. The health insurance and the contract, signed by the family and signed by you, the contract. The health insurance, yeah. And then a ticket, that's not a must. Some families pay for you the ticket, some don't. So it's up to you. Or rather, it's up to the family to decide whether they're going to pay for you the air ticket or not. So as for me, I was already in Germany, so I didn't need an air ticket. So that after these 2 weeks, they came back. Then they wrote to me and they said, "Now we're back in Vienna. Now we are ready to welcome you." So I was so excited. My NGO was still in my FSJ year. I had extended it a little bit because by then I had still not found anything to do. So okay, when they came, they wrote to me and they said, "Okay, you can come. We're back." And I told them, I need the au pair contract. I can't come without a contract. What am I coming to do? So then the mother said, "Yeah, okay." Then they sent me per post, and after 3 days, I think I got it. So I got it. I read. I checked. Everything was really okay. There was nothing there that's how people say nowadays that were red flags. So everything was okay. But then they hadn't sent me my health insurance yet. And then after they sent me, and I told them, "I don't have any health insurance. What are you going to do about it?" And they were like, "Oh, sorry, forgot about it." And I was like, "Oh." And mind you, they had told me before they had several au pairs. I was not the first one. They had au pairs since their first child. But then their first child was 18. By the time I was going there, the first child was, I think, 8. It was 17, turning 18. So I was there, and if they had au pair since the girl was little, how can they forget to send me the insurance? So they sent me insurance, and I was like, okay. So now I decided to go and book an appointment, a visa appointment by the Austrian embassy in Berlin. So the day came, I went there, and everything was correct. Everything was okay apart from my birth certificate. And for those who know, and for those who know, yeah, there's people who know, and for those who don't know, when you're coming to a foreign country, if it's an English speaking country, that is fine. That's very good. But if it's a foreign country where the English is not the first language, in my case, I'm speaking about Belgium and in Austria and Germany. Your documents are supposed to be translated in Germany by an authorized translator, stamped and notarized. That's really important. They have to be translated from English to German. So, sorry, my birth certificate was not translated to Germany. So I went there, everything was okay, but then they told me your birth certificate is not is in English, you need to have it translated to German and then notarized. And I was like, oh, what am I supposed to do now? I think that was a sign from God saying, oi, don't go there, but they didn't have that in mind. So that was, as they say, the first red flag. So anyway, it's not a red flag. No, it's not a red flag. So that's just I don't know if it was a sign or just something. So they told me, okay, everything is perfect, but first, before we grant you a visa, you have to get your birth certificate translated to Germany. So I came from Berlin, and mind you, this day had taken. I had asked my employer then, the FSJ, to grant me a day so that I can go to the embassy, and he agreed. And I was like, he can't grant me any more days because I had already used my off days, or rather my holidays, to So I contacted the host dad, and he told me, okay, if it's like that, then you come to Vienna just with everything, your documents, and we're going to try and apply here in Vienna. So again, I asked my boss. He was really nice this time around and said, okay, I'm going to grant you, let's say, because a Friday and then Saturday, Sunday, you have then the time to come back still. So on Thursday night, I used Flixbus. That's really Mietfahrgelegenheit. That's really for those who are in Europe and don't have enough. For example, Aupairs and FSJlers. For most of the part, it's FSJlers, because FSJ really you get paid peanuts. So this Flixbus is really cheap, cheaper than flying, cheaper than train, but it's long. It's long. So I took the 8-hour drive from Hamburg to Vienna. I drove overnight, and then I got in Vienna in the morning. The host dad came to pick me up. And then we went directly to the Ausländerbehörde to apply for my visa. So when we were there, I already had everything in order, but there everything went perfect because the host dad knew somebody who knew somebody. Then they really didn't mind about my English birth certificate. So it was that, and then they said, yeah, we have your papers, we have everything. So come after you're going to get your visa after Aufenthaltskarte. Aufenthaltskarte after 3 weeks. So with these 3 weeks, I had to go back to Germany, inform my employer, and tell him because by then my contract was almost running out. I only had, I think, 6 more weeks with the FSJ, and then it's done. I can't extend anymore because 1, my age, and 2, you can't do longer than 18 months, I think, if I'm not wrong. So by then, the boss was fine with it and told me, okay, I wish you all the best in your future, and we parted ways in good terms. So I went back to my apartment where I used to stay, packed my things, packed everything, took a Flixbus again, 8 hours to Vienna. This time I reached in the evening. Then the host dad came to pick me. So when he came to pick me, we drove actually not so long from where the Flixbus is, the stop for the Flixbus, until where they used to stay. It was about, I think, half an hour. So in half an hour we were there, and by this time it was 7 o'clock. 7 p.m. So we got there. Then I got to see the younger kids briefly. The one I was supposedly supposed to take care of. One was 9 years, one was 7 years, and they had 3 other kids. So it's 7 years, 9 years, 12 years, 12 years, 15 years, and then the 17-year-old girl. So in total, they had 5 kids, and but I was supposed to take care of the two younger, the 7 and the 9-year-old. So we got there. I saw the two younger ones briefly. Then they showed me my room, and mind you, my room was like in a keller. It was downstairs. Everybody was living up. The living room was up. The dining area was up, but it was living in a keller downstairs where the cats were and the washing machines were. And so they showed. By then, everything seemed to be okay, mind you. So they showed me my room and they showed me, okay, here's your room. You're going to sleep. Then tomorrow in the morning, the next day was a school day. When the kids are in school, we're going to sit down and have a brief talk of your tasks that you're supposed to do and the time and so on and so forth. So, okay, we said goodnight to each other and I slept, and I don't know, I could hear them running upstairs and still, I don't know what they were doing. So they went to bed. The next morning, I hear somebody banging at the door, knocking, banging, really. It was a loud knock at 6:30. So I woke up 6:30 confused, and I'm like, oh, I thought you were meeting later. Then they were like, no, you come now. This is the host mom. And she was a bit rude, and I was like, oh, I didn't do anything. Why are you being rude? So now let me say, this was the first red flag that I didn't even, it was not in my head. So this 6:30, the dad brought the kids to school and came back briefly so that they can sit down with me and have a talk with me. So they told me, we talked about the working hours, and I was supposed to have, I think, 4 weeks, if I'm not wrong, 4 weeks of holiday in the whole year. Of course, not all of them at once, but 4 weeks. And then I was supposed to wake up in the morning by 7 and prepare the kids for school. I was supposed to work from 7 to 9, 7, 8, 9, those 2 hours, 7 to 9. And then 9:30 to 11:30, I was supposed to have my German school, my German language. And then the next working time would be from 4 to 6. So this is a total of 4 hours a day. 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. And my work was supposedly supposed to be preparing the two younger kids for school, and play with them, read them some books, or sometimes the evening when the parents started to go out, I was supposed to babysit at night. So that was really what we discussed. We talked about it and said 4 hours a day, sometimes babysitting at night, and then on Saturday when needed, then I would be available, because sometimes they used to go out also on Saturdays. So I could work on Saturdays from 7 till 9, 2 hours, supposedly. So the first week was okay, but then in the second week things started going, downhill. So now here comes my book where I've written everything where I'm supposed to say, so that I don't forget anything. So hold on. So I'm back. The kids needed something. So the first thing I realized that the kids were rude, especially the 9-year-old. He was so rude. I didn't like him. He was rude. You could tell him to do something, he would answer you, I don't know, with an attitude. And as time went by, I realized they got that from the mom, because the mom was also rude. And so there was one time I asked this 9-year-old a question. It was about those who live in Vienna. They know about Praterstern. It's such a huge place. If you're in Vienna and you've not been there, you can visit that. It's a nice place, actually. So the first question I asked him about Prater, because he told me they had been to Prater over the weekend with the parents and the younger boy, and they asked him, what are you supposed to do in Prater? Because I'm new in Vienna, I don't know what Prater, I don't know who, where that was, what's supposed to be there. So I asked him, what do you go to do to Prater? And he told me, yeah, why ask me such a silly question? What do people go to do to Prater? I was shocked because the 9-year-old used to speak English, so he answered me back in English, and I was shocked. I was like, wow, where did that come from? But Yeah, the younger one came, the 7-year-old came and explained to me in German because he used to hear English, but then his speaking was not really good. So he answered me in German and said, "In Prater, we go there. There's some activities, there's some games, there's different activities you can do. So that's what we're going to do." So that was actually the first thing I realized. The kids were rude. They were just as rude as the mother. Because remember, okay, by the mother also one day he told me to make tomato mozzarella. So I cut the mozzarella, I cut the tomatoes, I placed them on a big platter, and then I put because to be honest, I didn't know how I was supposed to dress that, to put the dressing on. So I just did that, and then I put balsamico acid, and I put a little bit of oil and salt and pepper. The mother shouted at me. It was like, "Hey, what are you doing? Have you never been to Italy and seen how people eat this? What are you doing there?" And really, I was shocked. I was thrown aback, and I thought, why shout? Just say it nicely. And that's where I think the kids got their rudeness from, because the mother used to shout a lot, and she was also rude, and she had this attitude like, "Yeah, I'm your boss. You come from Africa. I brought you here, and so I'm a boss. You do what I do, or what are you going to do about it? I'm your boss. You're at my house. You have to do what I say." So that was, and I was thinking, oh, so that's where the kids got this rudeness from. Their mother was really rude, and I could see that the kid also feared her, because when the kids were by their father, they were more open and more playful, and when the mom was around, they were a bit laid back and a bit I wouldn't say shy. I would say they feared the mother. That was fear. That's not shyness. That's fear. They feared the mother. And also, there was one day. Sometimes I used to cook. And then I would hear the mother whispering and asking the children if the food was nice, or if I was washing my hands before cooking, or if I was using the things nicely they're supposed to be used. And it was like she was spying on me through the kids, because this 9-year-old was like the camera. He was the one who used to tell the mother. He was the mother's spy, let me say. So yeah, they were rude. And mind you, and even though I used to cook and stuff, I was not allowed to eat with the family. When it was time for eating, let's say breakfast or dinner, but because lunch hour I used to provide for. I was not working, so I used to prepare things for myself. So for breakfast, when they were having breakfast, I had to go away, let them have breakfast, and then come back and clear up. The same for dinner. Dinner, I used to prepare dinner, and then go away and sit in the next room, sit there like just sitting and waiting until they finish eating, and then they go, and then now I can come back, clear up. I never used to be allowed to eat with the family. That was another point. So I know I used to really eat with family, because sometimes I used to cook. They were like, Yvonne, can you cook for us ugali today? We have meat, we have vegetables. Can you cook for us ugali today? I would struggle and cook ugali. Did you think I was allowed to eat with them? Whoa, nothing. I used to cook with them, prepare for them, and then I leave them there eating, and then wait a minute, hold on. So I had to close the door, prepare their food, and then let them eat, and then come back and clean. So I was like, "Ooh, I've never experienced that before." And in Belgium, everything we used to do together. Even if they were going to holiday, they used to invite me. We go together. But then these holidays, I was not supposed to work. It was like I was free I was on holiday with the family, but I was free. I was not supposed to work. I could go everywhere I want and do whatever I want. But with this family, it was the worst. So, and then I was being overworked. Overworked. Mind you, I told you before, I was supposed to be working 4 hours a day. And then up to on Saturdays, 2 hours. But this changed really quickly. And by this time, I don't even know what happened to I think the Aupair contract, when I came, then they took the contract but never gave it back. That was also a red flag, but I didn't even, it was not in my head. Because I used to wake up by 6:30. I'm supposed to be upstairs, prepare the kids breakfast, prepare them for the school, and this would go through until 9:30. Although supposed to be until 9, so this would go to be 9:30. Sometimes I used to get late for my language school because of this. 9:30, go quickly to the train station, go to school, come back, and then start talking at 6. At 4, until sometimes 7 or 8 in the night. And this was, so let's say 7, 8, 9, 10. No, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30. Those are 3 hours in the morning. And then in the afternoon, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are 4 hours. Those are almost 7 hours per day. Those are 3 hours more than what we agreed upon. And by this time, I think they took the contract and they never gave it back to me. So I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go anywhere. And by then I was in Vienna. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to contact. I didn't know where to go. But now I'm yet finished flower. But I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. And I could have gone to the Arbeitskammern or the Ausländerbehörde and said something, but I really didn't know. I really didn't know where to go. So I stayed. So, and then also when doing laundry, I was not allowed to do my laundry together with the host family. They used to do their laundry separate, and then when they're taken away and hung, or when I take them away and hang them after, then I could do my own laundry. And next, that's TMI. If you get grossed out quickly, I am giving you time to skip this part. Skip. So have you skipped? Okay. So this is TMI, as I said before. There was a time, and mind you, this girl was 16, or rather 15 going on 16. You can't say that she didn't know about it. She knew about it. There was this time she started a period at night, and then her clothes were soiled. Okay, I'm going to say her clothes were soiled. And instead of taking them by herself and taking them to the dishwasher, to the washing machine, this crazy girl, she took the soiled clothes, threw them on the floor, went to the shower, went to school like nothing happened. Nothing happened. So I made you after I'm being overworked. So I came to the room and I looked at the room and the bed was soiled, and then I see the soiled clothes on the floor, and I'm like, who does that? Who does such a thing? So I was so grossed out and I was so pissed at the same time. So I went there and I had to put on 2 sets of these latex gloves because I was not touching that thing. So I had to put on 2 sets of gloves, pick up the soiled clothes from the floor, take the soiled beddings away, throw them in the washing machine, in the washing machine, come with the textile cleaner, clean the soiled bed, because as 16-year-old girl cannot put that in her head and think she's supposed to pick the soiled things, she's supposed to clean the soiled things. But no, because I'm an Aupair there, I work for them, I work for their parents, I work for them, it's my job to do the cleaning. I don't know. I don't know what to say or think about it. That was really the worst that could ever happen. And I was like, ugh. So, and then I told the mom, and the mom was like, yeah, she's still a child. In my head, a 16-year-old, you call a 16-year-old a child. Even a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old who started the periods, they know they're not supposed to put the soiled clothes on the floor like this. She's just a child. Yeah, I was shocked. But yeah. And also, I was being yelled at a lot. There was a time when their boy, this not the 9-year-old, the other one, they had 3 boys, 2 girls. The first one, second one were girls, and then the third one was a boy. This third one boy, there was this time he woke up late for school, and the mother was yelling, Ivan, prepare for my son breakfast, and I was like, why are you yelling? Just come and tell me silently. I'm supposed to prepare breakfast for I don't know, by the time he was 13-year-old boy to prepare breakfast. The boy is big enough to do that by himself. My work was supposed to take care of the 2 younger ones, the 9-year-old and the 7-year-old. But and then I think I didn't hear her well. Then by the time I was going upstairs, the boy had already gone to school. I was yelled at for almost 10 minutes straight. Can't you think? I'm calling you the whole time. You have the vote, come to prepare breakfast for my son. Now he's gone to school hungry. I was like, my work was supposed to take care of the 3 younger ones, not the older ones. Hold on. I'm coming. I'm back, duty called. So I was saying that day I was yelled at for almost 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I can't even remember. The lady yelled and yelled and screamed, and she used to scream her lungs out. When I call you, answer. When I tell you to do something, you do it immediately. Don't start doing things. And I'm like, why are you shouting at me? What did I do? I'm telling you that she yelled, and I was just standing there. I was like, I was even I can't even now talk anymore. I was even speechless. So after being yelled at that day, then she banged the kitchen door and went out. I don't know even where she went. So yeah, and to tell you I was shocked was is that's even I don't even know what to say about what I felt about that day. So and then speaking of being overworked, there's a time they had guests over at their home, at their house. So and I was supposed to help them prepare, they set the table, prepare the plates and the cups and the spoons for the cutlery for the guests. And this time, the guests started arriving at 6 in the evening. And mind you, I was already started working at 4, and I was supposed to work. And then after I prepared the family for the children's, actually this time I didn't prepare for the children's meal because they were eating together with the guests. And mind you, it was by the I started working, started preparing everything. By the time the guests are coming, it was almost 9 p.m. 7 p.m. Also 19 Uhr, 7 p.m. So by this time I had not eaten anything. The last meal I had was at around 12. So by this time it's 19 Uhr, 7 p.m. I still not eaten anything. And they had to prepare their starters, their foods, their drinks, everything for the guests, and the family had to prepare for them. They just prepare for them, carry them, take them to them, come back, prepare the second set, take them, carry them. This went on and on and on and on without eating. Kaum habe ich mich hingesetzt, musste ich weiterarbeiten. So, and this went on and on. I couldn't even have even a sandwich or a bread or nothing because work, 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 work. I'm telling you, this went on and on and on until almost the last guest left at almost midnight. Almost midnight, I've not eaten anything, just drank a bit of water here and there. Almost midnight, they finished, they went to bed. And if you could have seen the kitchen, it was so dirty, plates everywhere. And they left me there really alone. Everybody went to sleep and I was there alone. Thank God the next day was Saturday, although I still had to wake up and work. By the time I was finished with I had to clear the kitchen, clear the dishwasher, wash the utensils, put everything where it's supposed to be, clear the kitchen, make sure the table is set for the next day for breakfast. By the time I was finished with that, it was almost 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning. That's when at least I could sit and eat something at 2 in the morning. So 2 in the morning, and then by the time I'm finishing and preparing myself to bed, it's almost 3 o'clock. And I'm supposed to wake up the next day by 7. I'm supposed to be up again from my Keller home. I'm supposed to be up again, working. I'm telling you, by then I was just done. I was just saying, I hope my pair contract just ends. I want to get out of here. I just want to get away. I don't want to have any contact with this family again. And also there was a time we went to the playground with the kids. And then this night, the one who was rude, the rude one, like the mother, he was eating a banana. And then after finishing, he peeled and ate it and then threw the peel at me. And I was like, what? And it's like, yeah. It's like just like a monkey. Imagine. And 9-year-old telling me that. I was shocked. And then we went to the train station, we went home. And then I told the mother that. And the mother was like, yeah, he's just a boy. He doesn't know what he's saying. And I'm like, he should know that. He should know that everybody's the same. You don't have to discriminate about me because of my skin color. And according to their mother, they only had Kenyan Aupairs since the older child was young. The older child was going on 18, and they only had Kenyan Aupairs. And I was like, if you've already had Kenya, why are you allowing your son to talk to me like that? And he was like, yeah, he's just a little boy, he doesn't know what to do. And just like then he was told, yeah, please apologize, that's not nice what to say to Yvonne, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, I'm sorry, Yvonne, I never say it again, and it never happen again. And I was like, you can't mich, man. So, and then they used to have a cleaning lady When I started my au pair, the cleaning lady, the first thing she told me when she saw me, she said, Yvonne, I'm going to tell you something. Please don't abandon the kids. Don't leave so quick like the other au pairs. Because I think before me there were 3 or 4 au pairs. They stayed there for the most one of them stayed was a month and then she was gone. The other 2 left after about 2 weeks. And then this lady told, please don't abandon the kids, please don't do that. The kids love you here, blah blah blah. And I was like, what happened to the other 3 au pairs that left early? And she was like, I'm going to tell you this, but please don't leave. The mother is a bit harsh. The mother is a bit harsh. She warned me about it. But then I was like, because the first week, really, I didn't see anything bad with the mother. She was really nice. And she was, yeah, I'm open. And blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, I won't leave. But then after this incident, I was like, oh, the lady warned me and I didn't listen. And I was like, is it my fault that I didn't listen to the lady? And I'm saying, had I listened to the lady, all this would not have happened to me. And then that was by the time my au pair contract was coming to an end, the mother was like, okay, so Yvonne, do you have any sister? Do you have any friends? Or do you have anybody you know that wants to come to work as an au pair with for us? And I was like, do you think I'm stupid? I mean, never in my right mind will I send anybody here, knowing how I suffered here. I am not going to send somebody's daughter, somebody's sister, somebody's family member to come here and be harassed and be discriminated against, be yelled at, be overworked, I don't know. I will not be in my right mind to send somebody's child, somebody's sister to come work for this family, having experienced what I experienced with this family. You can forget about it. So they were like, yeah, please just recommend someone to us if you have somebody. And if you have somebody, I had something, I thought my kids were fighting, but everything's okay. If you know anybody, I was like, no, I don't know anybody. I really don't know anybody that can come work for you. But then I used to know a girl wanted to be an au pair, but I was like, I'm not in my right mind going to send somebody to this hellhole. It was a hellhole for me. And how I survived this 1 year, it's a miracle. Until now, I just think, and I think to myself, how in your right mind do you get somebody as an au pair, bring the au pair to your home, and then treat somebody like this? You've forgotten you have also older girls. You have also children. Would you like it when the children went out and somebody treated them the way you're treating me right now? That is really not nice. I told her like that, and it was like, yeah. We are really sorry if we did something wrong, or rather if my children were a little bit harsh. They didn't mean it. And I was like, they see that from you. I didn't say it loudly, but that's from the mother. The mother was the same. The mother was just like that. So I'm telling you, if I compare this au pair experience in Vienna with the one in Belgium was like, it was like, I don't know, it was like a dream year for me. That was the best au pair year. That was my best au pair year. And I thought, oh, I'm coming to Vienna, a big city, and I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have a lovely family. Maybe the family is going to be as the one in Belgium. Whoa! Shock was on me. This was my worst au pair experience. And after that, I thought, no, I'm not going to let anybody's child come in this hellhole. And then when something happens, the blame is on me because I was the one who recommended them to this family. And I was like, no. I know nobody. I don't know anybody that can work here. I used to know a girl or two that wanted to an au pair family. But yeah, that's that. That was the worst au pair year. I used to cry sometimes at night. I used to go after working. I used to go in my room. I locked the door because it was in the cellar, even downstairs. Nobody could hear me crying. And I used to cry at night. I used to cry and cry and cry until I fell asleep because I felt drained. I felt abused, not physically, but emotionally abused. I felt emotionally drained. I was drained. I was just every day that I was supposed to wake up and work for this family, I just felt drained. I didn't feel nice in this family. This was the worst au pair experience I've ever had. And please, 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 I'm requesting girls or even boys out there who are working as au pairs. If you experience such with your families, please, please go to the Ausländerbehörde, ask for help. Ask for help. Don't be like me. Don't be like me and just crash under the pressure, crash under the family, and think that, oh my God, what do they think about me? Bull, forget what they're going to think about you. Think about yourself, girl. Think about yourself, boy. If you don't feel welcome, if you feel discriminated upon, if you're overworked, if the work there does not go Satz für Satz, sentence for sentence with your contract, girl, look for help. Leave the family, go to the Ausländerbehörde, go to IMS, egal, wherever you go, look for help. Don't suffer in silence like me. I was emotionally drained, emotionally abused. I was done. And thank God this was not my first au pair, because had that been my first au pair experience, I would have been finished. I would just have thought that every au pair experience is like this. But I already seen the good side of au pair, and I knew that there's a good side. This is just the little percentage that they don't have luck. And I say this, I'm not saying everybody's going to have a bad au pair experience. This is just my experience. This is there's just a handful of families that think, yeah, we brought you here, we can send you back. You're our pair, you work for us, you do as you say, we'll send you back. There's some families that think like that, and sadly, this little percentage of families make it hard for the general larger percentage that are really genuine and they're nice and they treat the au pair in a nice way. So, but I was saying, if you're an au pair and if you feel things are not right, don't sit back and wait like I did. Please don't. Look for help, look for somebody. Look for somebody to talk to. Look for because you're supposed to go to language school. Even then, in language school, you have friends, or open up to the friends in language school, or open up to the teacher and ask, I'm experiencing A, B, C, D. Can you help me, or how can I go about it? That was my problem. I never opened up to anyone. I suffered in silence, and it drained me emotionally and also physically, because I felt I was just. And by the time my year was coming to an end, I was so grateful that it was over. So, yeah, that was my brief au pair year here in Vienna, and I hope that those who are au pairs are having a good time, you're having a nice family, and you found a nice family to take care of the kids for, and also to take care of you. And yeah, I wish you all the best. For those who are already au pairs, I wish you all the best in your au pair journey, and for those who are starting as au pairs, I also wish you all the best, and yeah, all the best. Happy life, and do everything you do to take care of yourself.